guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Samantha and this is Samantha's Doodles. I usually do not show my face on camera, so please be nice. Hopefully going forward I can start doing more tutorials this way. I feel like it's just a lot easier for me to show you the materials this way and talk about it and then go into the close-ups for the actual process. So hopefully you enjoy this new style of video. Just leave a comment below and let me know what you think. So this is probably my favorite piece that I have made to date. It is not 100% complete yet. It still needs a final flood coat on it. You can kind of see the different textures and the layers here. It just needs one more solid coat of clear resin, but I was so excited about it that I wanted to make a tutorial ASAP so you guys could see how to get this really cool effect. I had a couple requests on my Instagram, so here I am showing you how I made it. Okay, but like, look at the rainbow shift in this holographic material. I have never ever seen any glitter that can do that. As always, you can find the full list of materials in the description box below, so just click down there and I will link to everything I used in this piece. I will also link my social media and my Etsy shop just in case you want to check them out. The first thing that you will need is a cradled wood panel. I don't recommend using canvas because it sags because the resin can get so heavy. So this one I got in a multi-pack at Michael's. I think it came in 3. They sell different quantities depending on what size, but this one is the 12 by 12 and it is just a white primed panel ready to go for pouring. The most important piece of the materials list is your holographic foil. So you can see this is what creates that really cool rainbow shift effect, which is the base for the entire painting. So you want to check out on Amazon, on Michael's, holographic material. This was foil from the Cricut section at Michael's. It came in a sampler pack with a couple different options. I loved this blue, so I had to get it. I actually got it for a different project, but decided to repurpose it for this piece. The resin brand that I used for this piece is the Counterculture DIY. It comes in part A and part B. It's the artist resin. It looks like this with the kind of like teal green color on it. I actually just recently started using this resin and I am really pleased with the results. You can see I haven't done the flood coat yet, but even these lines, they're just so shiny and they are cured really nice. They're a lot harder, I feel like, than some other resins get. So I'm really pleased with the results with this one and I recommend using it. I'm not sponsored or anything, it's just this has worked out well for me for this project. It is also really important that you have protective gear when you are working with resin. So I like to use the Nitrile Gloves. They are like an alternative to latex that I feel like a lot of nurses use. So they are just, they keep your skin safe, I guess is the main reason that you want to use them. And then this is my handy dandy respirator mask. Look how cool I look with it on. It leaves some lines on my face, but you know what? It's protecting me. I'm not inhaling the fumes. You want to work in a ventilated space in addition to wearing one of these, but it comes in handy for protecting your lungs. So I got this one on Amazon for not that bad of a price, I don't think, but you can research what is recommended by each resin brand and what fits for you. I know some people with glasses this wouldn't work for, but check out the different brands and see what works for you. Resin can be a little bit wasteful, so I've been trying to cut back on the waste. So I've been using a silicone mixing cup. You can see it's a little dirty on the outside, but the inside is nice and clean because when the resin cures, you can leave your stirring stick. This is just like a kebab skewer that we had lying around. You can leave that in here and it'll harden to it, and then you can pull it and the whole inside will come out as long as you leave it thin enough. So that is pretty cool in itself. It's a nice little trick so you can reuse your tools over and over again. And with silicone it comes out really nicely. So I've also been using the same trick with these little plastic mixing cups. So I have been using, they're about the size of like a shot glass almost, or like a little medicine cup. And you can see that there's a little bit of resin cured around it, but that the insides are, you know, relatively clean. These are my little stack of them. They come apart. You can use the same trick to get the resin out of them with like a popsicle stick or something, or you can just kind of let it build up in there until they break or they fill up and you don't feel like reusing them anymore. But for now, I've done 2 or 3 rounds of painting since I got them, and they have worked out really well. So to get this kind of pearlized sheen to these colors right here, I used these Stardust Mica's pigment powders. So it's the Stardust Pearl is this really pretty shell kind of white. It's got a little bit of a shift to it, but not a lot. And then there's this, it's called Blue Ice. It's a really bold, almost like royal blue. And this one is Green Pine, so it's almost like a muted seafoam minty kind of color. For this, I used the pearl mixed with the glitter here, and then I used the Green Pine for the green, and then for this blue-gray color, I mixed all 3 colors together in kind of like a custom formula, which is really fun because with pigment powders you can kind of create your own colors. Because as you can see, this blue is a lot brighter than how it turned out here, so I mixed all 3 together to kind of get like a pastel look. This is probably the very first piece that I have done a tutorial for that I haven't added a ton of glitter to, because the iridescent material just has so much shine to it already. So the only color that I added the glitter to is my white, and you can see it's like a really pretty iridescent glitter. I got this at Michael's. It's really, really pretty. The last thing that you'll need is your fire glass, which is how I got this kind of like crystal-y look up here. These are from Starfire Direct. I will link the exact ones I used below, but you can see I used the clear up here so you can kind of still see the holographic material, but still have that beautiful like clear, shiny fire glass look. And then this is the Azuria. It's a mixture of the 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch pieces. And then for these, I used the clear and the titanium. So I will link all of those below. If you do get your fire glass from Starfire Direct, I will put the coupon code in the description box below. I believe it's SamanthasDoodles20, and you get 20% off of your order through March 31st. I don't get anything from it. It's not an affiliate code. It's just part of the promotion that they ran when they posted my collaboration blog post I did earlier this month. That's actually the painting right up here. It's another one of my videos, so if you want to check that out, I will put that in the description box. So from here, I will switch over to doing the close-ups of the whole process. So if you're interested in making your own, keep watching. My very first step was to cut my holographic foil to be the same size and shape as my wood panel. So I just used my paper cutter and cut a small square to glue onto the wood panel. And then from here, once it was glued on, I started gluing my fire glass in the shapes that I wanted it. So here at the very bottom, I'm gluing it in kind of like a semicircle shape. I'm starting with my clear, so you can still see the holographic under it. And then once I get all of my clear down, I'm going to outline that in the light blue fire glass. So you'll notice I'm wearing a glove on the one hand, and then the hand that has the hot glue gun, I'm not wearing a glove. Starfire Direct recommends using gloves every time you work with their glass, and I just didn't have it on the other hand because it kept getting stuck to the glue if I had to pick it off. So for this next step coming up, I didn't actually show this material in the beginning just because I didn't have a ton of it left, but these are small like teal vase filler beads. I got these at Walmart. I will try and find them and link them in the description box. If I can't, any sort of vase filler will do. But I just glued these around where my fire glass was just to give a little bit more grit and texture to the design. So you can see here I'm outlining another section more towards the middle of the canvas with those vase filler pieces. So my camera actually died during this next step and I lost the footage, but I did two almost like triangular shapes with the fiberglass at the top as well. So unfortunately I don't have any footage of that, but you'll see it in the next step how all of this turned out. So here is after the fiberglass was glued. I also took some acrylic paint and just kind of gave myself a guideline. If you're going to do this step, make sure that you let it dry completely before you pour any of your resin, because you don't want to mess with the chemical reaction. I also used my Posca pens to do those thin white lines as well. So here you can see I am just mixing my pigments. You want to add less than 10% of pigment, whether it is paint or powder or glitter, to your resin, otherwise it might prevent the chemical reaction from curing correctly. So you just want to add in your little bit of pigment and then stir everything until it's completely saturated. Obviously this video is sped up, so you want to stir slowly so that you don't get a ton of bubbles in your mixture. So I had also set aside a little bit of clear resin that I didn't put anything in, and I am using that to coat all of my fiberglass. This will add shine to like those vase filler sections that don't have any shine to them. It will also kind of seal your fiberglass and your vase filler together, so it kind of forms one large mass instead of the individual crystal shapes that could fall off if they were jostled or anything like that. So it seals everything to the canvas, it adds that gloss, and it just does a better job of holding everything than your hot glue. So an important step is to take your heat gun and keep it maybe 2 or 3 inches above your panel, and you just want to run it over the resin and pop any bubbles that might be in there, just so that as it dries it's a real crystal clear, bubble-free finish. So after the clear resin is done, I start with my colored pigments, and I am just following the guide that I set up for myself, that I planned out for this composition. And you'll notice that I'm keeping the colors in thin lines that are defined sections that aren't touching each other. In a lot of my videos I will put clear resin in between and let all the colors kind of feather into each other, and while I really love that look, it's just not what I was going for this piece, so I decided to keep these sections more defined and not have them touch each other. So this is what the painting looked like after I let the first layer cure, and this is pretty much almost everything except for the final detailing. So after this step, I decided to take my paint pens. I use the Posca brand, but you can really use anything, and just outline some of those lines, I guess I would call it, just to give some more definition. So I used a green and a white Posca pen, and this is what it looks like after I drew on my additional detailing. So from here, the very last step, the only step I have left to do, is to do my final clear flood coat, and I will post the final product over on my Instagram page once that is complete. If you recreate your own version of this piece, I would love it if you would tag me on Instagram or Facebook. It's at SamanthasDoodles. It's the same as my channel name, and I will put all of my social media links and my Etsy shop in the description box below with the materials. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you will give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more of my tutorials in the future. Thanks for watching.